Please accept my humble obeisances. So let's invoke the blessing of the Lord before we read. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurve Namah Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhu Bhayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha अनादिरादिर गोविंद सर्व कारण कारणम। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। So dear devotees, I wish everyone a happy Damodar month, happy Kartik month. So we have been reading from book Trinadapi Sunichina by Srila Gaur Govinda Swami Maharaj. Srila Gaur Govinda Swami Maharaj ki jai. So we are reading from page number 41 and chapter title is How to Develop Tolerance. Bhagavatam imparts Shuddha Jnana. What is Shuddha Jnana? Pure knowledge. Sambandha Jnana. What is Sambandha Jnana? There are three subject matters: Bhagavan, Jiva, and Maya. Bhagavan and his differentiated part, Jiva, and his external energy, Maya Shakti, the material energy. One who knows and understands the relationship between Bhagavan, Jiva, and Maya has Shuddha Gyan, pure knowledge. Even these great personalities are devoid of pure knowledge, so they are affected and disturbed. Srimad Bhagavatam speaks about these subject matters, impart Shuddha Jnana, and teaches us how to tolerate. Mahaprabhu and all Mahajanas recommend to just tolerate. The material world is Dukhalyam Ashvasvatam, a temporary platform of unhappiness and misery. There is no real Sukhanand here. Everything comes and goes. Do not become affected by it and do not become disturbed. Just tolerate, tolerate, and tolerate it. Fear arises because of misidentification. Next section. Everyone is in a fearful situation at every moment. What will happen to me? What will happen? Where is my position? What shall I do? Oh, a dangerous situation is ahead. Why is there this fear? What is the reason of fear? They have not taken shelter at the lotus feet of Krishna, whose Abhay Charna Arvinda. The lotus feet of Krishna are such a place where there is no fear. Those people have not taken shelter there. Therefore, they are in a fearful situation. भयम द्वितीया अभिनिवेशतः स्यात् ईशाद अपेतस्य ए विपर्ययो स्मृतिः तन्मायतो बुधा अभाजे तम भक्त्या अकेशम गुरुदेवात्मा. Fear arises when a living entity misidentify himself as the material body because of absorption in the external illusionary energy of the Lord. When living entity thus turns away from the Supreme Lord, he also forgets his own constitutional position as a servant of the Lord. This bewildering, fearful condition is affected by the potency for illusion called Maya. Therefore, an intelligent person should engage unflinchingly in the unalloyed devotional service of the Lord under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master, whom he should accept as his worshipable deity and as his very life and soul. Next section. How to become free from all fears. One who is deprived of Krishna consciousness, who is entrapped by Maya, who has forgotten his own Swarupa, forgotten the Lord, and has developed the attachment to the body, is devoid of pure knowledge. Because he never concentrate on the lotus feet of Krishna, but rather focuses on the bodily conceptions and material designations, Indriya, the senses, and false ego, fear arises. That is the reason why he is fearful. An intelligent, wise, and learned person accept a bona fide spiritual master, a guru. Guru is Aradhya, to be worshipped. Guru is my dearest friend, Priyatma. Thus, by following his instructions and giving up all material desires, we are taught how to develop unalloyed devotion. Thereby, one will engage in the loving service of Bhagwan, Sri Krishna, and will become free from all fears. So this is so true, dear devotees. We keep thinking that when one position is attained, then there is no anxiety. But there is always anxiety actually, irrespective of what our position will be. Accept everything as Krishna's will. With this understanding, one realizes that everything takes place according to the will of the Lord, and that Krishna has the supreme will. Oh no, someone has done wrong to me. How can this happen? It is Krishna's will, therefore it takes place. One who is 100% Krishna conscious accepts everything as Krishna's will. Nothing takes place without the will of Krishna. Even a blade of grass cannot shake if it is not the will of Krishna. The wind blows, the sun gives light and heat by the will of Krishna. The conditioned soul, who has developed a bodily conception of life and always suffers under the clutches of Maya, thinks, "Oh, when will good fortune come to me?" He goes to the astrologer and asks to see when his fortune will change. What is that? What is recorded according to your prarabdha karma? The malevolent planets come, an auspicious planet come, and they give some good and bad influence. The working of all these planets is by the will of the Lord. Therefore, happiness or distress comes according to the will of the Lord. One who understands this, why will he be disturbed? Why will he be affected? It is the will of the Lord. It is all temporary. It has come. It will not continue for forever. It will go away. It will change. Thus you have to tolerate. So on this regard, it is said that even Ravana, he has control over all planets, right? And he was a scholar of all the astrology as well. He could have changed all the planets, isn't it, for his destiny, because everything was under his control. But he was against Lord Hari. So all these things, Karam Kanda and everything, and all the astrology and all the planets, even if somebody has a control, but if anything not as per the will of Krishna, nothing works. Therefore, Bhakti Vinod Thakur, who was a Mahajan, has written in his Sharnagati, "Tumi to maribe jai, ke tare rakhite pare, इच्छा बसे त्रिभुवन, ब्रह्म आदि देवगण, तव दासा अगान, कोरे तव अजनारा पाला." If you wish to slay someone, then who could possibly protect them? The three words are subservient to your will. The demigods headed by Lord Brahma are your countless servants who stand ready to execute your command. Tava ichha mate jata, graha gana avirata, subha subha phala kore daan, roga soka mriti bhoye, तव इच्छा मते होए, तव ज्ञान सदा बलवान. Your By your will, the planets incessantly exercise their auspicious or inauspicious influences. Illness, grief, death, and fear occur by your will. Your command is all powerful. Tava bhoy vayu bhoy, Chandra surya samudoy, सवा सवा नियमिता करे खोरे, तुम्ही तो परमेश्वर परब्रह्म परतपर, तव बासा भक्त अंतरे. In fear of you, the wind blows, the sun and moon rise and set, all performing their regulated tasks. You are the Supreme Lord, the ultimate spirit, transcendentally situated beyond even the beyond. Your residence is in the heart of your loving devotee. Sada Shuddha Siddha Kama, Bhakta Vatsalya Nama, Bhakta Janera Nitya Swami, तुम्ही तो रखीबे जारी, के तरे मारिते परे, सकला विधिरा विधि तुम्ही. You are eternally pure. All your desires are fulfilled. Your name is Bhakta Vatsalya. For you are very affectionate to the Vaishnavas. You are the eternal Lord of your loving devotees. If you wish to protect someone, then who could possibly slay them? You are the law of all the laws. तुम्हारा चरण नाथा कोरियछे परिणिपता, भक्ति विनोद तव दासा, विपदा होइते स्वामी, अवश्य तहारे सुतुमी, रक्षिबे तहार ई विश्वास. O Lord, your eternal servant Bhakti Vinod has bowed down at your lotus feet. O Master, he cherishes the faith that you will surely protect him from all dangers. So, in the interest of time, please stop here, or maybe we can read this, complete this section. Okay, let's complete this section. Ashwathama, the son of Drona, released the Brahmastra to kill the child in the womb of Uttara Devi, Parikshit Maharaj. But he could not kill him. Krishna protected him. The Brahmastra failed. If Krishna wants to protect you, who can kill you? If Krishna wants to kill you, who can protect you? Therefore, completely depend on the will of Krishna. It is Krishna's will. Disease comes, lamentation comes, fear of death comes. according to your will. It is Krishna's will. Just tolerate it. Do not be disturbed. It is Krishna's will that it is coming. I have completely surrendered at your lotus feet. I bow down at your lotus feet. I have strong, unflinching faith. You must give me protection from all kinds of calamities and dangers. This is Shraddha, Vishwas. 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated, Manya kutasid bhayam achutasya padam bhujo pasanam atra niyat nityam udvigna buddher asad atma bhavet vishwatmana yatra nivartate vi. Shri Kabir says to Maharaj Nimi, O king, in this material world, people have developed this bodily conception of life, thinking the body as self. Every moment, they are afflicted with the three tapas. What are those three tapas? Adhyatmika, Adidevika, Adibhautika. Therefore, they are always feeling restless. They are always in anxiety and in a fearful situation. For them, only one thing is required to offer worship at the lotus feet of Lord Hari and take shelter there. Because if they take shelter at the lotus feet of Lord Hari and offer worship to Lord Hari, then they will be free from fear. If you accept that Lord Hari has the supreme will and everything takes place according to his will, why will you be disturbed? Why will you be agitated? One who accepts this will be able to tolerate. Oh, it is Lord Hari's will that it is coming. I have to tolerate. Nothing else. I cannot do anything to contract it. So we'll stop here. So this is so nice. I think this book, every devotee should have it and read again and again. Because often we ask how to be humble. This is the way how to be humble. Sushila Gaur Govind Swami Maharaj ki jai. So next we will read Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. And we have to continue reading from page number 160. We are on volume 5, Battle for Bombay, and page number 160. Yeah. Actually, even Prabhupada's disciples were having difficulty understanding Prabhupada's unbreakable determination. Prabhupada's main motive was to preach Krishna consciousness in Bombay. Srila Prabhupada said, My Guru Maharaj ordered me to preach Krishna consciousness in the West, and I have done that. Now I want to preach in India. Bombay was the most important city in India, the gateway. And within Bombay, Krishna had somehow led Prabhupada to this land, where he had begun preaching and had brought the deities of Radha and Krishna. In Prabhupada's eyes, the land was suitable for the large, gorgeous temple, an international hotel he had planned. Bombay was an important city and required grand temple worship, large festivals, mass prasadam distribution, and a variety of Vedic cultural programs. The Juhu land seemed ideal for a school, a theatre, a library, apartments, a Hare Krishna city. So how could Prabhupada retreat from his rogue who was trying to cheat him. There would always be persons opposed to Krishna consciousness, Prabhupada said. But that did not mean the devotee should give in. A preacher had to be tolerant. And sometimes, when all else failed, Krishna's interest was at stake. He had to fight. Another reason Prabhupada refused to give up is this particular plot of land was that he had promised the deities Radha Ras Vihari. He had invited Krishna here and prayed, "Dear sir, please stay here and I will build you a beautiful temple." When Prabhupada had been touring and a devotee from Bombay had written him that deities were being neglected, Prabhupada has written back insisting that these abominable activities be rectified. Deity of Krishna was not a stone statue, but was actually Krishna, eager to reciprocate with his sincere devotee. So, if using the land for missionary work was the obvious or external reason for Prabhupada's determination to keep his Hare Krishna land, then the internal reason was his personal commitment to their lordships, Sri Sri Radha Ras Vihari. Certainly, Mr. N and his associates could never understand this. Even Prabhupada's own disciples could not realize it fully. Prabhupada had brought Radha and Krishna into very poor conditions, but with the promise of something wonderful to come. At his request, Radha and Krishna had come, and they were standing patiently, giving eternal benedictions to their worshippers, while Prabhupada struggled to fulfill his promise. 500 years ago, each of the six Goswamis of Vrindavan had had his own deity, for whom he had built a beautiful temple. But Prabhupada was empowered to install and maintain many deities. In his Western world, headquarters were the opulent Rukmani Dwarkadish in New York, Radha Govinda in Dallas, Big Radha Kalachandji on a traveling bus in America with Kirtananda Swami and Vishnujana Swami were Radha Damodar. In London, Radha Londoneshwara. In Mayapura, Radha Madhav. And in Australia, Radha Gopinath. All were Prabhupada's worshipable deities. Arch Vigraha, incarnation of Radha and Krishna, appearing at the request of their pure devotee for the benefit of neophyte devotees in various places around the world. To establish many deities was one of the Srila Prabhupada's prime contributions as a world preacher. When he would visit each temple, he would always stand reverently before the deities, taking their blessings, and then he would offer prostrated obeisances. Be humble. He would instruct the devotees. Always remember, you are dealing with Krishna. And sometimes he would be unable to suppress his ecstatic symptoms of love for the deities. Through his representatives, his many disciples, he worshipped all these deities. But in case of Radha Ras Vihari, his involvement was more direct. Having taken India as his own managerial duty, he considered caring for this deity as specific responsibility. Prabhupada's fighting spirit to keep the land was so keen that he sometimes appeared to be fighting for the fighting's sake. He sometimes even compared Mr. N to the demon Kamsa in Srimad Bhagavatam, who had repeatedly tried to kill Krishna. Just as Kamsa had employed many minor demons in his attempts to kill Krishna. So Mr. N had employed demonic agents like lawyers, friends, and hoodlums. Krishna's killing of demons like Kamsa was his pastime or Leela. He enjoyed it. And Prabhupada, as the servant of Krishna, was fully absorbed in this fighting. He was vigilant, militant. When Mr. N bluffed or frightened the devotees, causing them to back down, Prabhupada held his ground. He took naturally to the fight. Krishna and Krishna's mission were being challenged. Never before had Prabhupada been so threatened or met such active enemies. In New Delhi, when he had been selling his Back to Godhead magazine, he had often met with brusque words, and in America, people had ignored him and occasionally heckled him. But no one had seriously attempted to stop his preaching. Here, however, was a demon working actively to cheat him, to destroy his preaching, to disperse his disciples, and to displace his deity. He was forced to fight, and his disciples, if they were understand his mood, would also have to fight. Prabhupada was acting as the protector and parent of deities and ISKCON Bombay. As he had described in the Nectar of Devotion, many great devotees have an eternal relationship with Krishna as his protector. When as child Krishna had fought the serpent Kaliya, Krishna's mother and father had been plunged into transcendental anxiety. They had seen their child entangled in the coils of the serpent and fearing for Krishna's life had wanted to protect him. The eternal mother and father of Krishna always worry that Krishna may meet with harm. And when dangers appear to come, their natural anxiety increases many times. In this way, they show the most intense love for Krishna. Srila Prabhupada's mood was to protect Radha Ras Vihari and also his Krishna conscious movement. Although he knew that Krishna was the supreme protector and that nobody could oppose his will, out of the protective desire to spread Krishna's glories, he feared that the demon Mr. N might harm Krishna. Prabhupada's feelings of anxiety and protectiveness extended to his disciples also. Although out of duty, he often criticized and corrected them privately. Before others, he usually defended and praised them. When Dr. Patel, a Bombay physician, had criticized the way the devotees were living, not protecting themselves from mosquitoes, Prabhupada had said that because his devotees were liberated, did not identify with their bodies, such things did not trouble them. Prabhupada saw his disciples as children with little worldly experience. They did not know how to deal with dogs and could be easily tricked. But if the son was gullible, the father would have to be shrewd and strong to protect his family. As protector of the devotees and of Krishna's mission, Prabhupada wanted to establish good housing so that his disciple could serve Krishna in comfort, even elegance. Prabhupada's spiritual master, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, had taught the same thing when he said that preachers of Krishna consciousness should have the best of everything because they were doing the best service to Krishna.
Krishna, Krishna, Krishna.
Prabhupada was therefore determined to establish his Hare Krishna city in Bombay. He did not take the attitude of a naked mendicant who cares for nothing of this material world. He felt responsible for his thousands of disciples, and therefore he took on so many anxieties. Mr. N could not know what motives were driving. Srila Prabhupada, Mr. N could not know what motives were driving Srila Prabhupada, nor could he imagine the full ramification of opposing Krishna and Krishna's pure devotee. Even though the danger of such a position had been explained in India's most famous classics, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and Ramayana, Prabhupada was fighting on the side of Krishna. Therefore, Mr. N was opposing the Supreme Personality of Godhead. By Prabhupada's disciples, cancellation of the agreement, ISKCON's legal position had been weakened. But Prabhupada had faith that if devotees must maintain possession of the land, their position could remain strong. At the same time, he urged devotees to preach more. They should not think that without a temple they could not preach. So he arranged for another big Bombay Pandal festival downtown, which proved to be a great success, with 20,000 attendees attending nightly. Wow, 20,000 people every night attending the program. Important guests like R.K. Gantara. See, 20,000 devotees are attending. That itself shows that Bharatvarsh is a Dharma Pradhan, right? India is a Dharma Pradhan. Otherwise, how can 20,000 people can come to here? That's why India is different from other countries. Important guests like Mr. R.K. Gantara, the mayor of Bombay, made introductory speeches, and the devotees also took an active part, organizing, advertising, cooking, and distributing prasadam, distributing Srila Prabhupada's books, and preaching at a question and answer booth. The Pandal festival served to lift the devotees out of the doldrums of their protracted legal fight and the austerities of their living at Juhu. During the last week of January 1973, Prabhupada met with Mr. N at the residence of Mr. Mahadevia. Although Prabhupada's lawyer had filed a criminal case against Mr. N, Prabhupada wanted to attempt an out of the court settlement. He had always been gracious and charming with Mr. N. Mr. N had always appeared responsive and polite, but this time was different. Gone were the smiles and friendly words. The two were remaining barely civil to each other. After a few minutes, Prabhupada asked his disciples to leave the room. Speaking in Hindi, Mr. N began accusing Prabhupada and devotees of being connected with the CIA. I will come on Monday, said Mr. N tersely, with a check for 2 lakhs to pay back your down payment. All right, Prabhupada replied. If you don't want to part with your land, then you will leave. Then we will leave. But think before you do this. Mr. N continued his accusations. You people are calling yourselves the owners of the land, but you are just a big disturbance to the whole area. Getting up at 4 and all this. We do not claim to be the owner, Prabhupada replied. Krishna is the real owner. I am not the real owner. Krishna is already there on his land. Why are you bothering us so much? Simply take the money and give us the land. Or if you want us to vacate, then prepare the check. Prabhupada had been speaking with the restraint, but now his tone became angry. Bring out your check, and we will vacate tomorrow morning. No, we will vacate tonight. Give us our money back. Have you the money? Mr. N shouted. I will remove the deities myself. I will break the temple and remove the deities. Mr. N then stormed out of the room. That week, Mr. N was hospitalized after a severe heart attack. 2 weeks later, he died. When Prabhupada heard of Mr. N's death, he was at first silent. Then he quoted a verse Prahlad Maharaj had spoken following the death of his demonic father, Hiranyakashipur. Modeta sadhur apirvasichika sarpahatya. Even a saint is pleased when a snake or scorpio is killed. Mrs. N, although not as legally astute as her late husband, carried on the fight. Her lawyers, eager to collect their fees, pursued even more intently than she the litigation to drive out ISKCON. In April 1973, at ISKCON's instigation, ISKCON's case came before the High Court. There were tactical delays, however, the however, and the month after month passed with no decision. Prabhupada did not commit himself to construction on the land because he had no deed and no assurance of one. He toured the West, returned to India, but he toured the West, returned to India, but still nothing had happened to resolve the matter. Life in ISKCON Bombay was peaceful, but progress remained stunted, the outcome uncertain. Then one day, without warning, Mrs. N launched a violent attack. On the morning of June 1st, while the devotees were attending their routine duties, a truck drove onto the Juhu property. A demolition squad had come to dismantle the temple. Somehow Mrs. N had convinced an official in the city government to authorize demolition of the temple, a modest structure of brick and steel reinforced concrete. When Giriraj attempted to show the officer in charge a letter establishing his own rights, the man ignored the letter and signaled for the demolition to begin. Soon more trucks arrived, until nearly 100 demolitionists working with blow torches and sledgehammers swarmed the property. Demolitionists mounted ladders and began breaking the roof of the temple hall with sledgehammers. Others used torches to cut through the steel supports. The plan of the demolition squad was to knock out the steel supports of the Kirtan hall and proceed methodically towards the deity house, wherein Radha Rasvihari stood. The devotees tried to stop the demolition, but policemen soon appeared on the scene and, working in pairs, would grab the dissenters by leg and arms and carry them away. Police dragged the woman away by the hair, while tenants on the land looked on. Some were glad to see the demolition, although others were sympathetic. Out of the fear of police, however, no one moved to help the devotees. One devotee, Mani Svi, ran to the telephone and called Mr. Mahadevia, who, along with his friend Mr. Vinod Gupta, rushed to Hare Krishna land to find the police dragging off the last protesting devotee by the hair. She had been trying to close the doors to the altar to protect deities when three policemen had wrestled her away. Mr. Mahadevia rushed to the house of a sympathetic tenant, Mr. Acharya, and found his brother Chandra Mahadevia, a wealthy businessman and friend of Bal Thakura, the leader of one of the most influential political parties in Bombay. Mr. Chandra Mahadevia informed Bal Thakura of the emergency. At the instigation of a Hindu and under the order of a Hindu municipal officer, a Hindu temple of Lord Vishnu was being demolished. Mr. Thakura, in turn, informed the municipal commissioner, who denied knowing of any order to demolish the temple, and who in turn found the local ward office that had sent out the demolition squad. The ward office sent a man to stop the demolition. The officer arrived 2 p.m., just as the demolition squad had cut through the last pillars and were dismantling the roof above deities. The order to stop the demolition was given to ward officer in charge, who then stopped the demolition squad. Prabhupada was in Calcutta at the time of attack, and when devotees reached him by phone, he told them to organize the local ISKCON sympathizers and life members and protest the attack by mass publicity. They should also expose the persons responsible. This would be very effective against Mrs. N and her party. Prabhupada mentioned various life members he thought would help. Mr. Sada Jeevat Lal, the head of Hindu Vishwa Parishad, should help with publicity, since his organization was a defender of Hindu Dharma and was meant for handling such cases as this. Mr. Sethi should help in preventing further violence. This episode, Prabhupada said, had been part of Krishna's plan. The devotee should not be afraid. So, in the interest of time, we'll stop here. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. I wish somebody should make a movie on this battle for the Bombay. So many nonsense movies are getting made, but somebody should make this nice movie on battle for Bombay. This is another pastime of Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So we'll stop here. Anybody has any question, correction, realization, or chastisement? For 30 seconds. Then we'll wrap up the reading. कृपा सिंधु भैवच पतितनां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः अनंत कोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय. Thank you all the devotees for listening, and please forgive me if I did not pronounce anything correctly. Hare Krishna.